Hello guys and welcome to my channel. I'm Son and today I'm pretty damn tired and I have been for the last 4 days at least. So today it is, let me have a look, it is the 16th of October. So I'm having a bit of an issue after having made progress with my ME CFS for about a year, steady progress, and finally reached what I would say is a moderate disease level, where I have quite a bit more freedom compared to when I was severe. Um, so the thing is that up until, let's say, around the end of September, um, I had been able to pace quite well, but I would say even up until the end of August, because I had a dip there as well. So I've actually had 3 dips now in the span of about 1.5 months. And although I'm pretty confident none of these dips have made me worse or yet caused any lasting setback, I still think I'm on an upward trend, or that I at least still will be if I can continue to stabilize. But I am finding it very challenging to pace right now at this more moderate level. So this is a result of me having recently, right now I don't have a lot of energy. I haven't had in last week. I didn't have, um, as we came into October, I didn't have a lot of energy. So I had a dip in my form as well at the end of September, and I had one at the end of August. None of them were super big or anything, but they still cost me several weeks of fatigue and downtime, and my upward trajectory as well has not, I've not been able to maintain it this last period. So it's obvious to me that I am having a harder time to pace well at this more moderate level. So the increased energy that I've had um, enables me to do a bit more, but at the same time it also makes it a lot easier for me to overdo it and to overstep my limits. Because maybe it sounds paradoxical, but actually, in a way, the less energy you have, the easier it is to pace, because you have fewer activities, so you basically know more what you're doing, um, so it's still going to be easier to pace, even with the um, overall fluctuations that still happen. So um, you're still going to have fluctuations, so what you can do will still vary from day to day, but it's still overall easier to pace and to stay on the safe side, or within your energy envelope, as they say. So what I'm discovering is that it's getting increasingly hard to pace. And if I don't figure this out, it's a real problem. It's a real challenge that can potentially set me on a downward trajectory again with this disease, which I really don't want. So I am thinking, what should I how shall I deal with this? And another issue also, as I become more moderate, is that that also makes the pacing, I would say, harder. Is that there is less feedback from the body when you are close to the limit. It just suddenly happens and is delayed. Whereas when I was more severe, I would usually get more immediate, I would say, immediate feedback from the body. And that's not happening so much anymore. So, say 6 days ago, I was on a wheelchair trip to the mountain. I followed a mountain road, and I felt really fine actually. And I went to a friend. I visited a friend. I sat there, talked to him. I was there for 4 hours. Sat there and talked to him. We even went outside, and I walked up a hill, and I stood with a bunch of people. We watched the the aurora borealis, or the northern lights that lit up the sky on that day. It was a really nice moment. And then we went back. There were kids there. So I basically did that um, right after having been on a wheelchair trip. And although it's sitting in a wheelchair, it still takes energy. I have to drive there. I have to lift the wheelchair in and out. I have to drive it. I need to sit up. I'm outside in nature. It takes a while. I spent some time. So it still takes energy. And then I went to a friend afterwards. And honestly, after doing all those things, I did not feel any problem afterwards. I still felt like I can keep going. I can keep going. And then it's the next day. I don't remember exact days this was on. The next day afterwards, I start feeling some fatigue in my body. So I still went to the grocery store. I did errands, but I didn't feel like any kind of crushing fatigue or anything. It was just some fatigue, and I felt like maybe going to the grocery store was a little more exhausting than it should be. And then the 3 days after that, this is the fourth day after that, um, I was just sort of deteriorating, or just it was no hard crash or anything. It's just I'm getting less and less energy every day, and I was just staying inside and not doing a whole lot. Um, but I was still, so I was just sort of going down, not a very steep slope, but still just like this, going down over those 3 days until I think the bottom was in yesterday. Because I feel a bit better today again, so I think definitely the bottom was in yesterday, and I'm hopefully gonna start getting more energy again. But the point is just, and this is just what I'm really um, struggling with in my mind, and I don't think, like I said, if I can get a grip on this, I still think I can continue to progress, and I can really end this year in a very good way. My best year so far, definitely after I got this disease in terms of management, and I will have, regained quite a bit of functioning, even though I'm still pretty handicapped by it. Um, so I'm still positive, but it's really, I'm just really challenged in terms of how I shall deal with this from the perspective of pacing. So one option, and I think this is what I have to do. I have to really restrain myself and just try to really live a more limited life. It's not going to be forever. It doesn't have to be forever, but I really have to do that and really accept staying at home most of the time, and taking these short walks that I have, and the rest. It's a limit. Social things I must limit. I need to, if I do them, if I feel well enough, I need to really, limit them. Set a certain timer, 1 or 2 hours. That's enough. And maybe don't do two things, like, because like I said, on that day, I went to the mountain in the wheelchair, and then I went to a friend afterwards. So two activities, one following the other, like that. It's just too much. It's not feasible. So I need to just limit myself. That's because I need to acknowledge that I do not have the full ability to pace with this. It's just too hard because there are too many variables that goes into it. The form of mine varies too much from day to day. So that's also something that varies. There are huge swings and you don't always feel them. And then it's the other factors that I just mentioned, such as not feeling that you're getting close to limit. There is lack of feedback from the body, so you don't know. And you need to stay on the safe side. And also just a general, problem that pacing gets harder the more you do. So the smartest thing you can actually do, I think, is to just really limit yourself and rather stay more at home and do things on your computer, or hobbies, or can even be some work related things, maybe, if you're able to. I'm not sure. I'm still thinking about that as well in terms of my career, because it would be nice to participate to some degree in the society even with this. But you have to really adapt, and you have to live in a limited way. You are handicapped, severely handicapped still, is what I'm realizing. So these are just my thoughts. It's challenge. I am challenged at this moment, but at the same time, I'm trying not to lose the bigger picture. In the past, when I had, let's say, dips, I would not be able to watch a movie, for example. This time, I'm not able to watch a movie all the time, but I would say yesterday was the worst day, and I was still able to watch a movie. Um, so and I was still standing up cooking. So just the fact that even on so-called bad days I can do that, it's still progress. So I'm not like losing the overall big picture here, that I am doing quite well in comparison to earlier. But I really need to get this under control and find a rhythm that enables me to avoid these dips as well. Because now I had 3 in 1.5 months, and that's more than I've had in the last 1 year, actually. I only had like 2 or 3 before that, the whole year. So it's definitely not a good sign. If I look at the data, it's not a good sign. If I analyze that, it shows that I'm starting to get to a point where pacing is becoming harder, and I just need to limit myself more over time. And that does not mean you don't increase, but you just you need to give it time, maybe months, before you try to do much more, because at this level, when you do something more, it is all of a sudden so much more, because maybe you're already walking 20 minutes, you know so if you add, let's say, 5 minutes to that, it's actually quite a lot for the body. It's actually quite a big increase, because for like a year ago I had to pace up just to stand. So these increases that I do now, maybe they don't feel like so much, but they are actually quite a lot. It's just an example, but it's really hard. It's really hard to pace with this, and um, everyone that have this condition, everyone, no exceptions, doesn't matter who they are. Some of the smartest people that get this, they struggle with the same thing. So it is hard. It is inherently a hard thing, um, because and if you don't make it, you should honestly forgive yourself, because this is not easy for anyone. It's very complicated. The body, um, there are so many variables, but it's at the same time it's simple in theory, but it's just about allowing the body to do its thing, to heal at its own pace. But you have to go really against your instincts. That's the problem. So anyway, I don't think I'm gonna keep keep talking. I think that's enough. I think I get my point across. So yeah, it's just an update on this day, 16th of October 2024. Hopefully, things will continue to move forward from here. Thanks for watching.